Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's first state our objectives. Today I'm learning about the laws the government makes so I can determine when a person in the community is breaking a law. I know I understand it when I can recognize when a law is being broke. Today I'm learning how to use key details in a text to determine the who, what, when, where, why, and how, so I can successfully answer the questions for who, what, when, where, why, and how. For my text, I know I understand it when I can determine and explain the who, what, when, where, why, and how in a text. Okay. So let's come to the carpet for our next activity. We have been talking about community helpers. Who can name some of the community helpers that we've talked about this week?
Cops.
Not yet. Anybody know another one?
A fireman.
Yep, fireman. Okay. Are you ready to see which community helper we are going to be talking about today? I'm going to pull some clues from my bag, and I'm going to let you guess which community helper we're going to talk about. So I'm going to show this virtually just because it'll be easier. Okay, so our first clue is a flashlight. Can y'all see that? Okay. Anyone have any ideas?
A policeman.
Yep, a policeman. There's our badge, and there's our hat. So today we're going to be talking about policemen. So, we have also been practicing with using our key details to help us answer things about stories. Today we're going to use those key details to help us determine the who, what, when, where, why, and how in our stories. So we're going to watch this video and then we'll go over that. But let's first determine what our who, what, when, where, and why, and how are. So what's going to be our who in our stories? Does anybody have an idea?
Police officers.
Yep, so it's going to be like our characters. It could be policemen, bad guys. What would be our what in our story? This would be what happened.
Their job.
Yeah, what happened in the story. This is going to be our action. All right, and the when is going to be what?
What time it happens?
Yep, what time of day, maybe. The time of year. Where, what's the where in the story? Does anybody remember?
The setting.
Yeah, the setting. And what is the why?
Why we have police officers.
Yep, why they do bad, maybe an action somebody takes. Why they do it, their reasoning, right? And our how is how they do it, right? How they perform the action. All right, we're going to watch a video. And we'll answer these, come back and answer these questions about our video. And I also want you to think about when we watch this video, if what our policemen actually do, what's their job, would we be safe without the police, and would our community be safe without the police? So just kind of let those run through your head as we go through this video. Okay. What's it doing that? See?
We are the police. 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 We are the police.
hope you enjoyed that video. So, in this video, who were our characters?
The workers.
Yep, the workers.
The police.
Mm-hmm. What about the bad guys?
Mm-hmm.
What did they do?
They stole the eggs.
They stole. What does steal mean? What does stealing mean? Or steal mean?
When you take something that's not yours and you didn't ask mommy or daddy for it.
Good job. So we know there are rules that keep us from stealing. We have rules. Do you remember learning about rules? What is a rule?
Something we can or cannot do.
Mm-hmm. So we have rules at school and at home. Did you know that adults have to follow rules too? Our rules are called laws. And our government makes our laws, and the police help to enforce the laws that the government makes. So the police stop and catch people who do not follow the rules or the laws in our communities and around the world. So, where do the police put the bad guys? Does anyone know that?
In jail.
In jail. Good job. This keeps the community safe from bad guys who do not follow our rules. Police can be, did you also know police can be boys and girls? Raise your hand if you know a policeman or policewoman. Okay. Jacoby, do you know?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Let's go back and see if we can determine the who, what, when, where, why, and how that took place in our video. All right, does anyone remember where it took place?
In the factory.
Yep, and I'm going to show you. It took me a minute to see it. It shows you a split second, the sun. Hold on. It's the eggs and gifts factory. Okay. When did it take place? When were these robbers stealing stuff?
At night.
At night. What did they take?
Eggs.
Eggs. Why did they take these eggs?
Because there was stuff hidden inside they wanted.
Yeah. And who took it was the robbers. How did they take these eggs?
They put them in their truck.
Yep, put them in their truck. Okay. Let's see. Why did the police capture the robbers?
Because they took stuff that wasn't theirs.
Yeah, they broke a rule, didn't they? They broke the law. I think you all did a great job finding this. Now we're going to go into our three groups. Your three groups are on the board. You'll all have a turn in the three stations. The first station is with me. We will read Officer Buckle and Gloria and determine the who, what, when, where, and why together. The second station, you will have an event that a policeman is in, and we're going to determine the who, what, when, where, and why of that. And then, and you'll make a police hat in the second station. The third station, you will create a song about the who, what, when, where, and why, and with your group, and then we'll share this later. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start the story of Officer Buckle, and Gloria. You can pretend to be a puppet if you want with this. I'll have puppets in the group, but I can't have them for you now.
Officer Buckle and Gloria by Peggy Rathman. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Napville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand in a swivel. Officer Buckle shared safety tips with the students at Napville School. Nobody ever listened. Sometimes there was snoring. Afterward, it was business as usual. Mrs. Topple, the principal, took down the welcome banner. "Never stand on a swivel chair," said Officer Buckle, but Mrs. Topple didn't hear him. Then one day, Napville's police department bought a police dog named Gloria. When it was time for Officer Buckle to give the safety speech at the school, Gloria went along. "Children, this is Gloria," announced Officer Buckle. "Gloria obeys my commands. Gloria, sit." And Gloria sat. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1. Keep your shoelaces tied. The children sat up and stared. Officer Buckle checked to see if Gloria was sitting at attention. She was. "Safety tip number 2, said Officer Buckle. Always wipe up spills before someone slips and falls." The children's eyes popped. Officer Buckle checked on Gloria again. "Good dog," he said. Officer Buckle thought of a safety tip he had discovered that morning. "Never leave a thumbtack where you might sit on it." The audience roared. Officer Buckle grinned. He said the rest of the tips with plenty of expression. The children clapped their hands and cheered. Some of them laughed until they cried. Officer Buckle was surprised. He had never noticed how funny safety tips could be. After this safety speech, there wasn't a single accident. The next day, an enormous envelope arrived at the police station. It was stuffed with thank you letters from the students at Napville School. Every letter had a drawing of Gloria on it. Officer Buckle thought the drawings showed a lot of imagination.
"Dear Gloria and Officer Buckle, thanks for coming to our school. You are nice. Your friend, George."
His favorite letter was written on a star-shaped piece of paper. It said,
"You and Gloria make a good team. Your friend, Claire. P.S. I always wear a crash helmet. Safety tip number 7.
Officer Buckle was thumbtacking Claire's letter to his bulletin board when the phone started ringing. Grade schools, high schools, and daycare centers were calling about the safety speech. "Officer Buckle," they said, "our students want to hear your safety tips, and please bring along that police dog." Officer Buckle told his safety tips to 313 schools. Everywhere he and Gloria went, children sat up and listened. After every speech, Officer Buckle took Gloria out for ice cream. Officer Buckle loved having a buddy. Then one day, A television news team videotaped Officer Buckle in the State College auditorium. When he finished safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms. The students jumped to their feet and applauded. Bravo! Bravo! They cheered. Officer Buckle bowed again and again.
Officer Buckle has been appearing at schools and daycare centers all over Napville.
That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news.
Not go swimming during electrical storms.
Gloria is clearly the star of this dynamic duo from the State College.
The next day, the principal of Napville School telephoned the police station. Good morning, Officer Buckle. It's time for our safety speech. Officer Buckle frowned. I'm not giving any more speeches. Nobody looks at me anyway. Oh, said Mrs. Topple. Well, how about Gloria? Could she come? Someone else from the police station gave Gloria a ride to the school. Gloria sat on stage, looking lonely. Then she fell asleep. So did the audience. After Gloria left, Napville School had its biggest accident ever. It started with a puddle of banana pudding. Splatter, splatter, splash. Everyone slid smack into Mrs. Topple, who screamed and let go of her hammer. The next morning, a pile of letters arrived at the police station. Every letter had a drawing of the accident. Officer Buckle was shocked. At the bottom of the pile was a note written on a paper star. Officer Buckle smiled. The note said,
Gloria missed you yesterday. Your friend Claire. P.S. Don't worry, I was wearing my helmet. Safety tip number 7.
Gloria gave Officer Buckle a big kiss on the nose. Officer Buckle gave Gloria a nice pat on the back. Then Officer Buckle thought of his best safety tip yet. Safety tip number 101. Always stick with your body.
So, who was the who in this story?
Officer Buckle and Gloria.
What did they do together?
Going to schools to talk to kids about safety.
And when, I guess we could say during the day. Where was the school? Why did they do this?
To educate kids about safety and how important it was.
And how did they do this?
They gave a speech.
There. Give me a thumbs up if you like that. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna find the picture. share my screen. Okay, this will be our second station. One second. Okay. Okay. Okay, can I see? Alright, this is the guy. He has done something wrong. This is just going to show y'all what police kind of see them in action. I can't find the one I had earlier. And sometimes when they arrest them, they have to give them medical attention. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go on the board. Okay. So let's say we have a lake. So where's gonna be our lake? And we have a sign that says no swimming, but people are swimming anyway. So are they breaking a rule?
Yes.
Yes. Could they be arrested? Could the police take action?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so you'd have scenarios like that at your stations. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on your police hat, and then we'll go to the next station. All right, it says our meeting's about to end. So the third station is a song. I'll show you a bit of it real quick.
I woke up this morning to a terrible fright. My favorite hat was nowhere in sight, and I need some help to solve this mystery. You see, my name is Joe, and this here is Ben. Hey, he's not only my brother, but he's my best friend. And together with these words, we'll solve this mystery. So help us figure out who, what, where, when, why, how. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Questions that will help us solve this mystery. You see, the person that committed the crime, what made them do it? They must be out of their minds. Where did it happen? Up behind my back. When I don't know, but I really miss my hat. Why did they do it? Because they're thieves. How did they do this to me? So those are the tools to solve the crime. Who, what, where, when, how, and why. That's what we need to solve the mystery. You see, it's getting kind of close to the end of the song. So come on, everybody, use the tools and sing along. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Who, what, where, when.
So y'all would create the who, what, when, where, and why, how into your song with your groups, and then you'll share those with the class. Now it's time for independent practice. I'm going to pass out a paper with a blank top part and lines on the bottom. I want you to imagine that you are a policeman or policewoman for the day and write about what you would do if you were a policeman or policewoman. You would include the who, what, when, where, why, and how into your story and underline those in different colors. Okay. So, okay, boys and girls, let's come back to the carpet. If you have finished your independent practice, you may bring it to the carpet. If not, we'll work on it some more tomorrow. And please bring your police hats if you can to the carpet. Would anyone like to, well, you haven't had time to practice on that. We would share our stories about how you were a policeman for the day at this time when we had more time. Raise your hand if you can tell me what a police does. Go ahead, Nisha.
They keep you safe.
Yep, they keep you safe. What would happen if we didn't have any police?
The world would not be as safe. The world would not be as safe.
Right. What would happen with our communities?
There would be no communities.
There would be no communities. It would be a mess, wouldn't it? Give me a thumbs up if you feel good about the who, what, when, where, why, and how finding it in stories. Okay. Give me a thumbs down if you want more practice. Your exit ticket is going to be, tell me what a where would be in the story.
The school.
Yep, the school would be your settings, right? And what would be the who? What's always going to be your who in your stories?
The character.
Characters. Good job. All right, we'll work some more on our stories tomorrow. If you'll bring those back with you. And thank you for your participation. Bye. We'll get ready for lunch then.